Best and worst trade landing spots for Los Angeles Lakers Kyle Kuzma.
Shout out to my solid bro wells out there. I love you all, guys.
One of the players most involved in NBA trade rumors thus far this offseason has been Los Angeles Lakers forward Kyle Kuzma. Based on some reports, it sounds as if it is a matter of when, not if, Kuzma is traded away. There have been rumblings that Kuzma and LeBron James do not get along, which would certainly mean the end of the road for Kuzma in the purple and gold. If there is actually a rift between the two, James is certainly not the one who will be traded out of town. For a team looking to get back into the ranks of contender during the 2021-2022 season after being eliminated from the postseason this year, Kuzma represents one of their only assets to trade away. But his value is rather low right now. Kuzma had a strong regular season, as he looked more comfortable coming off the bench and filled in admirably when James and Anthony Davis battled injuries. He averaged only 12.9 points per game but shot the ball better from the field overall and from the three-point line. Disappointingly, in the postseason, Kuzma was nowhere to be found. He scored only 6.3 points per game, making a putrid 29.2% of his shots from the field, 17.4% from the three-point line and 66.7% from the charity stripe. Despite the struggles, Kuzma is still confident he can develop into a high-scoring all-star. A trade could make that happen, but there are some bad landing spots for him as well. Here are some of the best and worst landing spots for Kyle Kuzma should the Los Angeles Lakers trade him this offseason. Good landing spot: San Antonio Spurs. The San Antonio Spurs would be a great landing spot for Kyle Kuzma. San Antonio is arguably the best developmental franchise in the league, and if Kuzma is lucky enough to land here, his game would really take off. From a need standpoint, the Spurs may have a huge hole to fill in their front court with DeMar DeRozan and Rudy Gay hitting free agency. Kuzma could slide into that starting forward role that DeRozan has been occupying for the Spurs. While he is not yet the playmaker that DeRozan has turned into, Kuzma would offer better rebounding and help make up for the loss of scoring. While many people have labeled Kuzma as a poor defender, he has actually taken strides on that end of the court. Outside of Tom Thibodeau, there probably isn't a better system than the one that Greg Popovich runs with the Spurs to get the most of players defensively. Already showing improvements, Popovich could take Kuzma to the next level on that end of the court. Kuzma would also fit on the timeline the Spurs are on, so his development would still be a priority while the team gets back into the playoff picture in the Western Conference. Bad landing spot: Washington Wizards. The Washington Wizards would be a poor landing spot for Kyle Kuzma because of the similarities in the situation with Los Angeles. The Wizards already have two ball-dominant players in Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal on their roster. If they are able to land a long-term commitment from Beal, the whole construction of the team would change as Washington would become more of a win-now type of team. For Kuzma, that isn't an ideal situation. If Kuzma is going to realize his untapped potential, he needs to receive reps. The Wizards wouldn't be able to afford that kind of patience, as they would need players to help them win games immediately. The fit in Washington would also be an awkward one because they have so many forwards on the team already. The last two lottery picks the Wizards have made, they picked Rui Hachimura and Denny Avdia, both wing players. Having to compete with two younger players also looking for development reps is not a good situation for Kuzma to land in as he would with the Wizards. Chandler Hutchinson, who was acquired from the Chicago Bulls in a mid-season trade, would also be fighting for minutes on the wing. Even if a player such as Davis Bertans is swapped in a deal for Kuzma, there is just too much competition for him to receive the development that he needs to take his game to the next level. Best landing spot: Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers would be an intriguing landing spot for Kyle Kuzma if the Los Angeles Lakers were to trade him. Depending on how their offseason shakes out, he could fill a need for the team. Forward Doug McDermott is heading for free agency. While Kuzma is not the shooter that McDermott is, he can bring a similar scoring punch to the table. Kuzma is also a superior rebounder and playmaker, and his improving defense would also give him a leg up with the Pacers. While replacing McDermott this offseason could be his need, Kuzma would also give the Pacers a long-term answer as a scoring forward in case TJ Warren doesn't return to form and the team does not want to re-sign him following this season. While the Pacers need help defensively, Kuzma would bring a scoring spark to their second unit that they are lacking whenever McDermott was in the starting lineup. Playing a media market such as Indiana for the Pacers would allow Kuzma to get out from under the bright lights and just focus on his game, as well. Worst landing spot: Detroit Pistons. While getting traded to the Detroit Pistons would be a homecoming of sorts for the Flint, Michigan product, it would not be an ideal landing spot for Kyle Kuzma. There certainly are more favorable trade destinations the Los Angeles Lakers could send him. Kuzma needs a team that would provide him with structure and stability so that he can develop his game. The Pistons have not been that franchise, as they struggle to develop their own draft picks, let alone taking on players who have struggled at times in other spots and bringing out the best in them. Detroit used first-round picks on Sadiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart last season. In 2019 it was Sekou Doumbouya, another forward, that was selected. Going back a few more years, there was Henry Ellenson and Stanley Johnson. While Bey and Stewart looked good as rookies, Detroit does not have a track record of developing players well, which means Kuzma's game could stagnate. If Jeremy Grant and Josh Jackson weren't part of the deal for Kuzma, there would be quite a logjam in the frontcourt as well. Having to fight for minutes is never a good thing for development. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.